We have quite a few characters in Injustice 2 that are premier skins for other characters, but there are some characters that aren't in the game as premier skins. That makes me question why they aren't. In today's video, I'm going to be naming the top 4 premier skins that absolutely need to be in the game sooner or later. Disclaimer, don't expect to see Arkham Knight in this list. The reason for this is because of the fact that under the mask, he is still Jason Todd. He is not a completely different character, so if there were to be any Arkham Knight essence in the game, it would likely just be in the gear pieces for Red Hood. Also, this is my own personal list, and the reason for this being a top 4 and not a top 5 video is because I'm really only hoping to see 4 premier skins. Number 4. Sinestro. Though I do understand that Atrocitus is in the game, you've got to admit it's a little odd seeing Green Lantern in the game without Sinestro. Those two almost always go together, especially the many intro dialogues and story references to the Sinestro Corps and Sinestro himself. Now, should Sinestro be a premier skin for Atrocitus or Green Lantern? The obvious answer is Green Lantern, since it would be very weird seeing Sinestro doing the blood spit move on his opponents. There's nothing Green Lantern can do that Sinestro can't do in terms of his gameplay. The intro dialogues and clash quotes with the other characters as Sinestro would be quite interesting to see, especially with John Stewart and Hal Jordan, given Hal's past story as a Yellow Lantern. Sinestro would be better off as a premier skin, since there's no reason to have more than 2 Lantern users in the game. Yes, Sinestro's gameplay was different from both Atrocitus and Green Lanterns, but it's safe to say that it's probably best for him to be just a skin. Number 3. Cyborg Superman. I understand that this can easily just be a gear headpiece for Superman, in which I'd be okay with it if it altered his voice. If it doesn't, then I'm definitely not in. The reason why I want this as a premier skin is because Cyborg Superman has a different alter ego who goes by the name of Hank Henshaw. Not to mention, in Injustice 1, the announcer would say Cyborg Superman instead of just Superman. In Injustice 2, the announcer says Power Girl and not Supergirl when you acquire the Power Girl skin, so the same could be done here if Cyborg Superman does make it in. Since this is my personal list, the Cyborg Superman skin in the first game was actually the sole reason for me playing Superman in that game. As you can probably guess, I am a little disappointed that Cyborg Superman didn't make it in the gear system in any way. Not to mention that Cyborg Superman is a Green Lantern villain, so the intro dialogues with him would be interesting, and the same could be said with the intros and clashes with Superman. I just hope that his voice is altered in a way where you can understand what he's saying, because in the first game, some of the things he would say in his altered voice you couldn't even understand. Number 2. Shazam. Similar to Sinestro's case, with Black Adam in this game, it's a weird feeling knowing that he's in the game while also knowing that Shazam isn't. Shazam and Black Adam almost always go together, but I understand why he wasn't included. Looking at the story, I'm sure NetherRealm didn't want to put Billy Batson at the priority level since he is dead. And even though death doesn't really matter, I just don't see any room for Billy Batson in the story. Some characters mention him in the intro dialogues, and there is one reference to him in the story, but that's about all you're gonna get of him for now. I think the best choice right now is to put him in as a premier skin for Black Adam, since Raiden is damn near confirmed at this point to be DLC, and there's no need for 3 Lightning characters on the roster. I can possibly see an update being added to the game where if you purchase Raiden, then you unlock Shazam as a premier skin for Black Adam. So in a sense, you are getting 2 Lightning characters, but one of them is not taking a character slot. Number 1. Deathstroke. Boy, will I have a lot of problems if he ends up being a premier skin. I do think he has plenty to work with so he can be his own character. All you gotta do is reduce the use of his guns and focus more on hand-to-hand combat and have some staff combos, and you've got yourself a completely different character. Everyone thinks this guy is a Deadshot clone, since everyone looks at the fact that he was a zoner in the last game and Deadshot is a zoner in this game. Looking at Red Hood's gameplay, I think he took the last gun user slot for the roster, and given the very similar moves and animations Deathstroke has from Deadshot or Deadshot has from Deathstroke, the likely scenario is that he'll be a premier skin. The problems with this though is that Deathstroke doesn't use gun gauntlets, and seeing him use them would just be really weird. Not to mention, if he is a skin, you're throwing away so much gear customization potential, and him not using a sword in his gameplay would just be a huge crime. So though I do have major problems with this, it's still going to be on my list, and it'll be a love-hate relationship I have with one aspect of the game. Without a doubt, I'm sure you have a wish list of your own, so let me know your list in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button, and if you are new, consider subscribing because I post videos like this weekly. Anyways, my name is Rustbo Productions, and I'm out for now.